everyone, it's Kathy here from Memories Made Magical, and I decided today to give you a little video walk around of my craft room. I love watching craft room videos, but a lot of the rooms that I look at are indoors inside the house and are quite spacious, whereas my craft room is in the garden. It's an old concrete shed. It only measures 5.5 feet by 9.5 feet. But my husband converted his old workshop or man cave for me so that I could put all my supplies in. So this is what I've done with my limited space. So we're going to go round first of all to a bookcase that I've got just on the inside, and we go to the top and you will see I've got a Craft Dragon heat press there and my We Are Memory Keepers cinch machine, which I can do some binding with. And then we move down and we've got a couple of shelves being used for my cake decorating supplies, because I like to do various different crafts, not just paper crafts but also cake decorating. Also, they're moving down, got a space for my electronic embroidery machine, which I don't tend to use very much, unfortunately, because as all crafters know, you don't really get a lot of time to try and make all the crafts using all your supplies all the time. Then I've got a couple of printers there. I've got my A4 inkjet printer and my laser printer below. And then just at the side of that bookcase, you'll see my waste paper bin and my little step, which is very good when you're quite short like I am. Very useful. And then at the side there is my background that I use for my YouTube videos. And moving up the wall, we get to another shelf which has got my manual die cut machine, which is in my case a Spellbinder's Grand Caliber. Some jars there that I've just picked up because they were quite reasonably priced, so I can either use them for cupcakes in jars or maybe little fairy lanterns. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use them for yet. A couple of packets of air dry clay, which I make some little card toppers with. And then moving on, you can see my Xyron label machine, my heat gun, and also glue gun, and some of the rocker blocks, which are stamping blocks that I bought from Crafter's Companion. Couple of Martha Stewart punches there on the top shelf. We have my Silhouette Cameo, which is an electronic die cutting machine, which I find comes in useful a lot for vinyls and die cuts that I haven't got the dies for. And then moving along, there's a plaque there that my husband bought me with lovely sentiments on that says, "Every day I become a little bit more like my mother, and I couldn't be prouder." My mum, although sadly no longer with me, she was a very creative lady and loved all types of crafts, same as I do. She was also into knitting and embroidery, which I think a lot of us tend to just try different crafts. And then you'll see lots of my glues and paint brushes there, some of my textured pastes and embossing powders and waxes I use for mixed media projects. Moving along, some highlighters, some Prima flowers, and then there's my little paint collection that I've got. So all those are acrylic paints, some metallic and some gloss. So that's that shelf, and at the bottom, at the end of the shelf, you can see my spritzers, which I also use, Cosmic Shimmer spritzers, which I also use for my mixed media projects. There's my trusty clock, which I got with butterflies and roses on. As all crafters possibly know, you tend to lose track of time when you're in the middle of creating something. On the second shelf, I've got my, see my phone there, but my Cricut toolkit that I use with my Silhouette Cameo, with picking tools and things, and a little tin that my son bought me. And then moving along, we've got my crocodile, my We Are Memories crocodile, and all the little punch, can't remember what they're called now, but the things that you put in the holes for the for the ring bound albums. Also got my knife collection and a little tiny rolling pin that my daughter bought me. And then there's some jars and some tapes. That's my second shelf. And moving down, I have another shelf here which has got a lot of my paper supplies, some storage boxes which look quite pretty, but I've got lots of my